All right, so today we are going to go over the UFC 306 Fear card coming up. I'm going to do some quick picks real quick, and then we're going to move on to the important stuff, which is talking about Dana glazing his own card, just more than John Jones somehow. Not much to talk about in these picks, honestly. I'm not really excited for most of these fights, as you guys can probably imagine. But we're going to go through it real quick because, as this is my first UFC video on this channel, I'm going to start doing a lot more. Obviously, I'll probably be alternating between F1 and UFC. I'm going to keep track of my own picks on Tapology here, and then either use a spreadsheet or Tapology, and whoever in the comments wants to write down their picks before the fights each week, we will keep track, and someone at the end of the year or whatever will get some kind of reward, something fun to kind of keep us going through some of this shit Apex cards. So anyway, let's get started with some of the fights. Raul Rosas Jr. versus Arichi Lang. Obviously, I'm going to go Raul Rosas here. It's probably going to be a layup fight for him. I'm kind of surprised they're starting off the card with that, maybe just to make sure that people watch right off the bat, because otherwise, I'm not really sure why we have him uh, first. I mean, they've had him on pay-per-views before, I think, right? If I'm not remembering wrong, but anyway, I'm going to take Raul Rosas by. We're going to go sub, I think. We're going to go sub. Let's just go round two. I don't really care about that. I'm just going to pick money line essentially. I don't really usually pick UFC. I'm not really interested in it, but it's nice to keep track of it and kind of see how everybody goes along with it. So next fight, Edgar Shayrez versus Joshua Van. Joshua Van probably should win this, but I'm gonna go with Shayrez just because of the atmosphere. You know what I mean? Maybe it'll get to Josh Van. He kind of feels like he's in enemy territory, and maybe the crowd will help Shayrez. I'm not even gonna pick what method, but I'm gonna go with him on an underdog. I'm sure he's the underdog, right? Yeah, slight underdog. Okay. I'm gonna take him. Next, Yasmin Uregui versus Ketlin Souza. It's a woman. Okay. Um, yeah, we're gonna go Uregui. I think that's a pretty easy pick, right? Heavy favorite, 11-1, 25-29. Ketlin Souza has some decent ones, I think, but honestly, it's yeah, we're gonna go Uruguay. You can tell I just really these three fights specifically. I mean, honestly, they're pretty good fights. To be fair, they're pretty good fights. But when we listened to all the glazing Dana did, it did not live up to this, bro. I get that it's all Mexicans and whatever, bro, but this is not it, man. This is not it. And 10 fights too, not to mention 10 fights. I don't need all the other bullshit that's going to be happening for 10 fights, man. Give me 13 fights on a pay per view. Come on. This is a good fight. Here we go. Manuel Torres versus Ignacio Bahamondes. Kind of the same reason I picked Shayrez. I'm going to go with Manuel Torres for that, but I'm assuming that's an underdog. Oh, they're pretty much a toss up. Yeah, I mean they're pretty even all the way across the board. In experience, in age, everything else. Although Bahamondes is quite a bit taller than him. I don't know if he's 6'3". That seems a little bit ridiculous, but um, I'm gonna go Manuel Torres. I don't really care. Next, Irene Aldana, Norma Jamont. Hopefully Norma Jamont wins so we can keep seeing her more. But I'm gonna go Irene Aldana, probably by knockout. I actually will pick on this one. She's probably gonna TKO her to be honest, unfortunately. But move on past that. Ronaldo. Oh, this is sorry. This is the pay per view now. This is the main card that you're supposed to pay $90 for in the U.S. Sorry. Let me get right for this one. Ronaldo Rodriguez versus Ode Osborne. Obviously, just a layup for Ronaldo Rodriguez. We're gonna go with him. Don't even need to talk about that. Daniel Zellhuber versus Esteban Ribovic. This is gonna be a much better fight. I'm gonna take Zellhuber. Um, I like that it's like a local fight for him. I know he trains at Extreme Couture, so I like that part of it. I like that he's going to be, the hometown guy. Essentially, he's going to be the home favorite with the crowd. I'm going to go Zell Huber. I'm going to go decision. I'm going to go decision. Ooh, not co-main event. Oh God, should be the co-main event. Feature fight: Brian Ortega and Diego Lopez. This is a tough one. God, Ortega looked really good against Yair, I feel like, but Diego Lopez is younger, he's hungrier, and Ortega's kind of already had his chance. I mean, when you have Volk fucking subbed, I don't know if you're coming back from that to go for the championship again. I'll go Lopez by the 3 rounds. 3 rounds. I'm gonna go decision. I'm gonna go Lopez by decision over 3 rounds. I don't know. I don't know. Co-main event: Alexa Grasso versus Valentina Shevchenko. The third fight, second fight was kind of. Um, First fight was kind of too. I mean, Shevchenko was essentially winning both of them, right? And then she got subbed in the first one because she threw a spinning kick from 2 feet away. I'm not really sure what was going on there, but I mean, people make mistakes. Um, yeah, the second fight was kind of I don't even know. I think the age at this point, like maybe if it was only one fight, maybe if it was like their first fight all over again, I'd probably pick Shevchenko, but I feel like age is probably gonna be a factor. Does it tell me the age here? Oh God, 36 and a half. Ooh, that's tough. I don't know if the whole 35 plus thing counts for the stat about how champs like 35 plus or whatever always lose or whatever, but I'm gonna go Alexa Grasso by 5 rounds. I don't. She could knock her out, I guess. I don't even know. Last one was decision. I'm gonna go decision again. Probably squeaks out of decision. And for the only fight that anybody really cares about, Sean O'Malley versus Merab Dvalishvili. Uh, I'm feeling an O'Malley knockout, and I'm really not trying to be that guy, but yeah, you know what's tough is when like Henry Cejudo catches you with a hook like that. I think it was a left hook, and you get dropped by Cejudo. That's tough. That's tough to come back from, and that was literally wasn't his last fight, I guess. Yeah, that really did it for me. Honestly, before that fight, I would have said Marab just wrestle fucks him for 5 rounds and just gets enough takedowns to hold him down. But after that, man, I think O'Malley's gonna find a shot sooner or later. I mean, I mean, Cheeto's obviously not Marab, but I mean, he was just destroy. I mean, Cheeto is a fucking punchy bag, so that's really not a fair comparison. But Aljo's a good comparison, and he found the shot on Aljo. He was pretty good on the takedown defense, especially considering the injury. You know, if we're to believe the injury, then that is even better on the takedown defense for him. But I'm gonna go with O'Malley knockout round. I think it's gonna be early. I think it's gonna be early. I think Marab's gonna try to stay on the feet early. I'm gonna go round two. I'm gonna go. I could be one, honestly. Mm, he'll probably recover if it's round one. You know, maybe I'm gonna go. I'll go round four instead. I'll go round four instead. I'm gonna give extra points to whoever gets if you get one of these correct in the main event. But anyway, we're gonna save those. That doesn't really matter. Is it saved? Okay, cool. Let's move on to the other shit. The other shit is Dana here. For the last, how long ago was this? 6 months ago. I mean, ever since the Mexico City card, which what was about 6 months ago now, he's just been full force deep throat in this sphere card, and um, yeah, there's a lot of things going on here. I think that the main thing that I want to talk about this is the money factor of it. But we're gonna let Dana talk first and tell you what's gonna happen on Saturday night.
And now, this year, going into Mexican Independence Day, I'm going to pull off the greatest live sporting event ever done in the sphere, and it is going to.
I mean, there's just been so many live sporting events ever, man, and to say that this is gonna be that, I mean, I can just tell you, just based off the perspective of hype going into the event, it's not that. I'm just gonna tell you, it's not. You're not that guy, pal. Um, let's just move on to the next thing. Honestly, let's move on to the next thing he's gonna say here. 427.
It's going to be the greatest live sporting event you've ever seen.
This is quite a different venue.
Oh, it might be a wrong spot. Anyway, I just don't get the feeling it's gonna be the greatest live event live, the greatest sporting event live. And even if it was, bro, even if it was, Dana says the Sphere is a love letter to Mexican combat sports. How is it a love letter to Mexican combat sports when you retail price right off the gate tried to charge $3,000 for the cheapest ticket? How is that anywhat attainable for people Mexicans or even anybody really? Who the fuck can afford $3,000? If is he seriously he's holding it in Vegas, and it's supposed to be like the assumption that that's gonna allow more people that live in Mexico, Mexicans, to go to the fights because of that, and they're going to want to go because it's in Vegas and it's their whole thing. How is anybody going to afford that, man? What do you want the cartel to send everybody there? That's the only people that are going to be able to afford it, man. I don't know who in the US, given the economy, other than Dana White's rich friends, are going to be able to go to this card, man. Even now, they had to lower the price pretty much in half because nobody, not nobody, but the tickets were not selling out like they needed to. And Dana's been saying for 6 months now that it's going to be the biggest gate ever, and now he has to back it up, and the tickets aren't selling at the price that he thought that they were. So I want to go to Dana talking about how he doesn't care about the money. Let's just talk about that, and then we'll go on to the next thing here.
This isn't about making money. I'm actually going to spend money on this event.
So it's not about the money, but UFC and Saudi Arabia agree to title sponsorship on UFC 306 at the Sphere. So it's not about money, but he's been talking about how he's invested. I think he's been saying the numbers like 16 or 17 million dollars to put this thing on, and oh, it's not even September yet, and it's going to be so much money and so much time and effort. But we have ride a season to back it, and are we to believe that they're only gonna what? So Dana saying he wants you to believe that he doesn't care about money. Mr. Krabs, Dana, Mr. Krabs White wants you to think that he doesn't care about money. But we're gonna get a title sponsorship deal to run the fight in the first place from Saudi Arabia. And if you don't remember either, the Saudi Arabia card they had this year was supposed to happen way before, but the card was shit, and the guys definitely just told them, "Nah, we're not taking that." So they had to reschedule it for later in the year, and only after they had that card, I think it was the day of that card, they announced that they were going to be the title sponsor for this Sphere card. So it's a lot of it's a lot of back scratching. You know what I mean? It's a lot of you scratch mine, I'll scratch yours. And with Saudi Arabia, man, for the Mexico independence card, what the fuck does that have to do with the Mexico independence card, dog? What does that have to do with it? Other than just free money. And if he doesn't care about money, then why are we taking the title sponsorship? And again, what my main point is, are we supposed to believe that what they're only going to pay for the total expenses, and then Dana's just gonna say, "We'll just take $0 profit on this. We don't want any profit," or what? Like, come on, man. Don't sit here and say, "Oh, it's not about the money, but we're gonna have the biggest gate ever, and I'm charging $3,000 a ticket," and da 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 da. The only ones that are gonna be there are all Dana White's rich friends. He knows that. All these people that are probably local to Vegas, probably not a lot of people are gonna be flying in for this. I mean, maybe, but like, what are they gonna do, man? They're talking about the whole storytelling, and they're gonna do this and that between the fights. What are they gonna do? Walk you through like a village in Mexico and like reenact like a child growing up or something like that? Is that what they're gonna do? Because like, really, dude, like, come on. I just that mixed with the shit card makes it like 100 times worse. I don't know how we're gonna look at this card with 10 fights, plus the fact that it's so expensive, plus the fact that it's like only Mexico, and we're just gonna be like, yeah, that's he cares, you know what I mean? He knows what the fans want. No, he doesn't give a fuck. It's all about the money. Everything's always only about the money. And yeah, that's kind of the whole main point of this video. It's all about the money, and he's gonna try to tell people, oh, it's not about that. It's gonna be badass. It's gonna be the best event of all time. It's gonna be the best sporting event ever. Yeah, I doubt it, dude. I'll be back here after the card talking about it and recapping it because I'm sure it's not gonna be everything it's been talked up to be. Similar to UFC 300, and to be fair, UFC 300 did end up being a really good night of fights, but they just made I don't know. UFC 300 is not a great example because that was probably the best card ever, at least in my opinion. But he likes to talk a big game and then undersell, and like that's just not how we're supposed to do it, man. You're supposed to undersell and over deliver, not the other way around, especially with that kind of card, man. I do think the fights will be exciting. I think most of them will be pretty exciting and should be pretty active, not shouldn't just be laying around and shit. A lot of lighter weight classes, surprisingly. And yeah, I'll be back here after the fights recapping it. And yeah, good luck if you're going, man. I guess if you're going, take some videos. Let's see what it actually looks like in there because I doubt we're gonna be able to tell if sitting at home. So like the video, subscribe. I'll be back here next time. Peace.